Alright, guys. So, DC Vertigo. Um, so, first off, started off with a bang. Auqaman, number 45. I have not enjoyed this book at all. It's not any particular thing. Um, it's kind of a continuation of the same story that was going on prior to Colin Bunn getting there, and I feel like he was trying to fix that, and then kind of got sidetracked by a lot of stuff, and it just hasn't done it for me. And as much as I've praised Trevor McCarthy's art, and at points, Trevor McCarthy's art is absolutely beautiful, um, it just feels to me like in this that his male faces, and sometimes when he draws Aquaman, that it's a little elongated and weird to me, and how bold some of his lines are in his faces and such are really really weird, which really makes me sad. Also, when he was doing Clarion, I wasn't a huge fan of the art in Clarion, except for the way of his page layouts. I love his freaking page layouts. But yeah, just not really a fan of the Aquaman. As soon as that team gets off of that, I'm going to drop it if I don't drop it before. But, we'll see. Uh, I was crazy behind on Batgirl. I hadn't read it since it came back at issue 40. But the second arc, I really, really enjoyed. I still think that Babstar's art and the way that she draws Batgirl is great. Cameron Stewart's story has been awesome to me. Um, I really liked in this arc that it was kind of stories that didn't really have to do with each other that were but there was an underlying theme that was going on the whole time. I liked that Alyssa came back and that we got to see her wedding and all of that, which was awesome. That Dick Grayson came back, and so we got a little bit of closure to what was going on with them and like the teen issues of Batgirl, like 14 and 15 and 17 and 18. We got a little bit of closure to that because that was a fairly decent deal to me that was running in Nightwing and it was also running in Batgirl. So that was kind of sweet. And the only thing that I read that I didn't care for too much was the Batgirl Annual. However, I really, really like the way that Bingle draws Batgirl. I think that it's awesome. I kind of hope that I just think that is just awesome the way that she draws Batgirl there. And, I hope that if Batwoman comes back, that maybe Bingle can get on Batwoman because I think that would be amazing. But yeah, Black Canary. This book continues to be pretty good. Uh, I believe that there's been an artist change on this issue 5, but it didn't really hurt so bad. At the same time, I didn't think that it was as good as it was before that, but it wasn't bad at all. And I really enjoyed the story that's going on with that. Those characters that I have nothing to do, no investment in, have really been pretty enjoyable to me. I really like that little Ditto girl or Dido or whatever her name is. Pretty freaking sweet. DC Bombshells. I don't have anything to say about this book really. Um, it's fun. I'm a huge Bombshells fan, and so it's been fun for that. It's been fun to see them in stories, but just all in all, kind of seems a little bit like a cash grab to me, and so I haven't really been a fan of all that. Catwoman continues to just be amazing. Um, I believe that this is going to be Genevieve Valentine's one of her last issues at 45 or 46, 47, something like that. And wherever she goes, I'm going to follow because I really enjoyed what she's done with Catwoman. Um, I read Catwoman, When in Rome by Loeb and Sale. This is one of the first things that I've read by them that I was not a huge fan of. And considering that I'm a big fan of them and I'm a big fan of Catwoman, I was a little let down by that. But, they can't all be amazing. They can't all be Daredevil Yellow or, Long Halloween type stuff. I mean, it can't be that way. So, Constantine Hellblazer. Um, the more I read of this book, I don't really have a whole lot of reference for Constantine. The only Constantine I've really read was the previous New 52 story, which was just not good. and I think this has been just really, really good. I started picking it up because of the fact that I like Ming Dole's art, and I was going to support her as a writer. I also kind of like Tinian. I know a lot of people don't, but kind of a Tinian fan. I'm a huge Riley Rossimo fan, so you know his art in this is just amazing. I love that cover, the way that, that lizard's coming down to eat him, or dragon's coming down to eat him. But that has been really, really good. And I feel like every issue just gets stronger and stronger. Gotham Academy, not a lot to say about this. I mean, it's amazing. The characters in this, I love every issue of this that I read. Um, I like a lot of like young youth, tweeny stuff for whatever reason. And that book just hits something that I love. I love all the characters in that book. Um, I was pretty far behind on Grayson. I got caught up on like the last 3 or 4 issues of Grayson. I really liked the way that this last arc ended with him trying to get out of Spiral and Spiral kind of pulling him back in. I was not a big fan of this book whenever it very first started because I liked Nightwing and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about, you know, Grayson and kind of being a James Bond character, but it has really, really proved me wrong. I mean, Tim Saley is a great writer, so, I can't expect that he's not going to write a great story with a good character. Green Lantern Lost Army. This book to me has gotten better and better. This is the last issue of this series, and then they're going to start another series, which is going to be written by Tom Taylor. That's going to be a continuation of this, and I can't wait to read that because I love Tom Taylor. Uh, this is a book that I thought that Jesus Suarez and Colin Bunn. I thought Colin Bunn wrote a heck of a series here, but I'm a big Green Lantern fan. But if you can write a story that makes me like the Lanterns that I don't like John Stewart. So if you can write a story that makes me like John Stewart, uh, then more power to you. Another great book, man. Martian Manhunter has just been knocking it out of the park, I think. Not a huge Martian Manhunter fan. Don't really have a lot of previous knowledge of him because I don't read like Justice League type stuff. The only thing I've really read Martian Manhunter in was the Justice League America stuff, and I think this series has been really good. I really like the Mr. Biscuits character in this and everything that's going on. The little girl that is following him around. I mean, it's comedy. There's superhero stuff. Just everything's good about that book. Another Colin Bunn book, Sinestro. Sinestro has been really good. I like it the last couple of issues because since all the Green Lanterns have kind of left the universe, it leaves Sinestro kind of wide open to just do what Sinestro does, and that never works out well for anybody. So, that's been really, really good. Ethan Van Schreiber's art, also, man, knocking it out of the park. Um, we Are Robin. Wasn't sure whether or not I was going to like this book, but the more that I get to know these characters, the more that I like this book. And yeah, I can't wait to go into Robin Wars and see exactly how they're affected by it. I'm happy that we finally got who's behind coordinating these Robins and what's going on with that. It was, freaking awesome. From Vertigo, I got Survivors Club, and I think I like that cover better a lot. Uh, really like that pull string on the doll. Survivors Club issue 1, I wasn't really sure what I thought of it. Basic gist of it is that you've got all of these child stars that were in horror movies and stuff, and now this video game is out to get them, and so they've all gotten back together to kind of keep each other safe or whatever. Uh, Really, really bizarre book. Really liked the coloring on this by Dela Cruz. Really liked him on Hexed. And so yeah, that book's been pretty freaking sweet. Clean Room by Gail Simone. I can't come to a decision on whether or not it is that I like Gail Simone, because some of the stuff that I read by Gail Simone I really, really, really like. And some of the stuff that I read by her I'm not a huge fan of. And some of the stuff like this I'm just kind of middle ground on. I don't really get this book. And I I actually dropped this book off my pull after reading issue 2, so, you know, we'll see whether or not I pick a copy up off the shelf next week. Not real sure. Uh, Unfollow. This is a really interesting concept. I really like this cover. That it's like a phone, but yeah, pretty sweet concept. Millionaire guy's dying. He divides his fortune up between 150 people that are maybe chose randomly, and invites them all to come to an island. And then some like crazy Lord of the Flies stuff ensues, and yeah, crazy freaking sweet. But I believe of all this stuff, like maybe my favorite thing that I've read is Slash and Burn. Maybe out of most all my books, this would definitely be in like the top 5 books that I read out of everything. I absolutely freaking love this book. Uh, Cy Spencer can affect me in a way that comics don't normally affect me. I don't get uncomfortable. There's not a whole lot that I can read or see that makes me uncomfortable. The only other person that's ever written anything that kind of made me uncomfortable was it Joe Hill and Nosferatu. Kind of made me uncomfortable, but other than that, not really. But this book was freaking amazing. It's about a pyromaniac who is also, her day job is that she's a fire investigator, and she has a really, I don't know what you call a sexual relationship with fire, but it seems as though she has some kind of a sexual perversion towards fire that is really unsettling. And he made me feel the same way in Bodies, kind of, with the way that those characters were inside Bodies. And so, yeah, that's my DC Vertigo. This video ran a lot longer than I wanted it to, but the others will be shorter. Alright, so anyway,